Hey guys, Luton here, back for some more Battlefield 1 stuff, some updates for you. First off though, this weekend it's a free trial Battlefield 1 for PC, Xbox One. You can download, you can check out the game from March 3rd to 5th, I think. If you do decide to purchase the game, any of the progress you got in the trial will carry over, so that's pretty cool, you don't have to start over. Link is down below for that one. What I would say is, whilst you're trying that trial, whilst you're giving it a test, try to be objectively minded. Don't get caught up in the addiction of unlocking, because whenever you play any game which has some kind of progression system, the first couple of hours that you play that game are usually really exciting, really evoking, because you kind of get pulled in. It's new, it's fresh, you know, but try to see through that, try to read between the lines, look at the actual gameplay experience before you decide to purchase. Look at kind of, you know, is it doing what you want to? I always say, when you're trying to review a game, when you're trying to assess a game, strip away the veneer, okay? Take away the graphics, look at the gameplay, look at the mechanics, look at how it feels, look at your performance, and see, you know, is this game doing what I want to? Will I be satisfied with this game overall? So that is this weekend. Now the next part I want to talk about is, again, exciting how fast things are moving. Now this is not down to me, I will say. I don't think this is down to me. I think that this is something that DICE and, you know, for example, David Sirland, who I talked about in the previous video, I think this is a thing that they were planning anyway, but I think that my contact with David Sirland has coincided just coincidentally with what they are doing here, which is convenient for me. And there are still some things that are going to be happening. You won't hear too much about that for a while, but there's some things that I'm going to be involved in apparently, so that's pretty exciting. That means that's forward progress, and I can tell you right now, things sound good. I said that in the last video, but since then I've had another contact with David, and it's positive. So what's this? Okay, it's called the Battlefield Roots Initiative, and I think the idea is getting back to the roots. So what it says is, there's a post on Reddit that's linked down below. Today we're kicking off with what we've chosen to call the Battlefield Roots Initiative. Within this project we're going to target areas important to experienced players and veterans of Battlefield. We will discuss issues, improve features, and reach conclusions. We will disagree, we'll have discussions, fierce discussions, and we feel it's high time to start to focus on this now. In the near future we're going to be expanding on this through direct communication, so if you know of a great representative you think we should be talking to, let us know. So that's good, they want to hear from people that are good representatives for Teamplay. Now the next part, and again, this is ground we have covered in the past, but let's keep an open mind. Teamplay first. We'll start looking at our Teamplay gameplay and loops. We feel there are several places where we can do a better job here, and we probably need to experiment and do some pretty controversial changes to accommodate this going forward. Now that's wording that I find particularly interesting, that they are willing to make some controversial changes to accommodate things going forward. Now we'll see what happens with that. I'm intrigued by that, and I wonder what that means. Is that literally lip service? Is that just words? Or is that a sincere commitment to actually make changes that they know some people may disagree with, but long term could be important, and maybe they're starting to see that these are things which need to happen regardless of what the, you know, regardless of who throws their toys out of the pram at that moment in time. So it says the goal here is to take what we have, fix obvious issues, and improve team play aspects, including depth, communication, and teaching players how it works. So then they start to go into a couple little more detail, things that people were aware of already. So ammo, team play, and balance. Okay, we knew you had several maps with heavy choke points, which creates some tense in gameplay, but comes with some problems. They're talking about explosive spam. So in the retail game, they currently have problems with grenades. Again, they're going to be looking at the timers there, and that's listed further down below. Also long-term goals. Now they say our long-term plan is to improve the utility of ammo crates and pouches. We want ammo gadgets to matter for all players in all situations as soon as they spawn in. We think the current system does not achieve this. Ammo usually only comes into play when you spam gadgets or survive long enough. We want to address the gadget spam and frustration stemming from the current way resupplies are handled. That's important, but it also relies again back on that insistence on team play, because if you suddenly take away the ability for people to just spam stuff and get it straight away, then it means that you really are relying on team play then, and that could mean we end up in a more deteriorated situation. On the other hand, it could mean that people start to wake up and realize, hey, the only way I'm going to actually be efficient, the only way I'm actually going to get what I want to get is by working with other people. So this is what I'm talking about. It's kind of like passive aggression, you know. It's kind of like it's not forcing people to play a certain way, but it's saying like, hey look, we've made this change, and if you don't assist other people, then you're not going to really get the gameplay experience you want. So that might be the only kind of way we can do things. They say the near future we're looking into tweaking passive regeneration times of grenades versus average player lifetime, which might currently be on the short end, and the effect of smoke grenades. Now, I am going to go through some of the stuff here because I think it's important to just read. They said, what have we done for now? They've changed resupply, and by the way, this is mainly on the CT right now. This is not in live game. What have they done right now? They've changed the resupply mechanic for grenades from hard reliance down to ammo cooldown based with significant acceleration from ammo crates. So they've temporarily disabled ammo pouches resupplying grenades, so you can't get grenades from ammo pouches. They've reduced all grenade ammo to only 1, and small tweaks to mini impact, incendiary and light AT grenades. I'm not going to go into those, but mainly it's some small timing changes there in terms of when the grenade actually initiates once thrown, right? Why did we do the resupply tweaks? Well, it says they want to limit the amount of grenades players get when constantly resupplied by support players, so you can't just keep chucking this shit, right? Without having to resort to long and bad timers like in Battlefield 4, so again, like the timing of the grenades being thrown. They want to prevent support players from resupplying themselves quickly to spam grenades, so you can't just sit there being a spam unit just chucking grenades in. They say that they're very aware that a single support player could easily block a choke point indefinitely with incendiary grenades. Spam like this will no longer be possible. Better balance between grenades, so we no longer have to spawn players with multiple grenades because the single hit burst damage is weaker. This gives us more granularity for balance. The most notable example here are gas grenades, which come with one grenade only now and have less availability than smoke grenade. Staying alive should not be inferior to dying a lot when it comes to ammo availability. Those are very positive changes. Those are very well considered changes, and they should actually, on the face of it, on paper, make a positive impact on the way games play. Because if you don't have that immense grenade spam, then it means you can be more effective as a unit. It means you must rely more on actual engagement and not just blindly chucking stuff in the vague direction where you think they're an enemy and then mopping up the pieces, right? So then they say, what are our current findings from the CTE changes that they made? It says, the duration it takes for grenades to be actively resupplied now seems to be in a good state. We do not expect bigger changes in general to be necessary here. And I'm going to be playing some CTE and assessing that myself. The duration it takes for smoke grenades to regenerate on their own seems fine. You get close to 100% uptime and more grenades per life than previous. Even if you're unlucky about finding ammo, grenades that cannot deal damage, smokes should have high availability. Again, that makes sense because then you're giving a tactical priority to things which can be strategically important, and that's actually a really positive thing. Again, it could mean that people start to actually think about using that stuff more. Maybe not, but the intent is there. So what is next up for testing? They want to gather more data on grenade kills per time and average infantry player lifetime. That's an important one. Balance the passive resupply times based on collected data. Players should not get too many grenades passively during an average lifetime, and some passive resupplies times are likely to go up a little bit. Look into making the cooldown mechanic more elaborate to reduce grenade availability on certain maps. Improve smoke grenades. You should not require 2 at a time for them to be viable. That's a nice thing as well, because the idea that you could just chuck one in blocks a large area, that could help as well. You know, smoke grenades are a really powerful tool. They can really help you get onto objectives when you're pinned down by sniper fire. So imagine if one smoke grenade is enough to cover an area more now, you put 2 down, bang, you're going to be straight in there, and it's going to deny those snipers that opportunity. It means less players sitting back and more literal engagement from players, so that could be a big positive as well. So then they go into what are testing plans beyond that. They want to make sure that teammates cannot spot targets for you if your line of sight is occluded by smoke. Now this makes the effect of smoke on spotting inconsistent. That is a super positive change. Creating a proper gas AoE system, that's area of effect system. While we currently could prevent gas from damaging through walls, it would also get blocked by rocks and small pillars, and that would make it inconsistent. I guess that's just the nature of the mechanics of the way the game is built. There's no way for gas to creep around objects as expected, and that's, if you actually literally think about how that works, it's quite a complicated mechanic, right? We want to take care of gadget spam. Expect ammo count adjustments and a few damage increases where it makes sense. Okay, good stuff. The overall system of resupplies is currently not working as intended. The best squad composition to fight a tank is to bring 5 assault players. 3 assault players combined with a medic and support should beat that, but usually it doesn't. Now that's a good observation. Again, they're kind of actually taking very that strong positive assessment of things that are wrong in the game. We want ammo gadgets to matter for all players no matter how long you stay alive. Ammo should be relevant the moment you spawn in. That's a good thing to be aware of. Medic players are rarely affected by ammo unless they run rifle grenades. However, a support player can currently allow a medic to fire 12 rifle grenades in a row with almost no delay. This shouldn't be possible. They want to tweak the balance between ammo crates and ammo pouches. In general, pouches are better and allow for more abuse currently. That's obviously a bad thing. We want to improve the clarity of being resupplied. This game should let you know what is being resupplied and how much longer it will take. Good clarity there. Makes people able to make better decisions in game. We also want to improve clarity to support players regarding which players are lowest on ammo so they can prioritize accordingly. Great. Let's hope there's some really interesting and well designed UI stuff in there, but something that's obviously not cluttering up the screen, but something which does give a simple heads up to people like, hey, you need to get ammo here. These are the kind of things we need to do. They say additionally, we want to reduce the impact of support and medic players not paying attention to their teammates. Now, that's a curious one. I don't know what they mean by that. Let's just read that again. They want to reduce the impact of support and medic players not paying attention to their teammates. How do you do that? How do you do that if you're making it more important that ammo and those kind of supplies are relevant to other players? How do you reduce the impact of other players like support not getting involved? Those two things seem to be at odds with one another, so I don't quite understand what they're thinking there. We'll have to explore that further in the future. The only way that I can think of doing that is, again, positive reinforcement, or we come back to matchmaking and just general player awareness. Or perhaps teaching or more heads up, literally like maybe literal prompt in game, like, hey, you need to get over here and do this, I don't know. There's some options we can think about, but I'm curious what they talk about there. Okay, and then lastly, they say discussion and feedback. That concludes our first and pretty hefty update. Once XP1 testing is over on the CTE, we'll start testing more of these features and others we're going to talk about later. They say if you have a great idea and an area you've been irritated about and constructive ideas or criticism, please let us know in this thread. And that's from David Serland and Lars Gustafsson. Okay, so two pretty significant guys within DICE, and it's really positive to see them getting involved and throwing this stuff out there. Like I said, I've been talking to David Serland. I contacted him today, just around the time that this stuff was going up. It's really positive. Like I say, I'll try and get some of the, hopefully I will have some stuff coming up for you guys. It might not be for a little while, but I think in general they're trying to engage in a really positive way. And also, I think the most important thing to take away from this is that from the wording they've used here, they seem to understand that this is something which is not going away. The issue of players not understanding what they are actually meant to be doing at the core of the game is not going away. I have been saying this for several years now, and I'm happy that they're doing this, but I'm still frustrated that it's taken this amount of time to get to that point. I don't want to be spreading blame around here or anything like this, but I do feel like just in general, as a community, I feel like other people could have got on board here and kind of pushed this in the direction more aggressively than they have done. And I think that it's just the case that this hasn't had enough of a light shone onto it for some time now, and we are only now getting to the point where this is actually happening. But nonetheless, regardless of all that, you've got to put that aside. I'm optimistic, I'm open-minded, I'm feeling positive about this, I'm trying to get involved, I'm trying to push forward something that I've been talking about for the longest time, and it feels like actually the wheels are starting to turn. It's good things. Guys, please tell me your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Go check that out on the Reddit. And, like I say, there will come a time where I am going to be speaking to DICE, as I have done in the past. If you have things and ideas that you think are really, really important, you have good ideas, don't just put them on the Reddit, put them down here below as well in my comment section. So things are looking positive. I've got some more information about my whole kind of Battlefield Teamplay stuff. That's going to be coming up really soon as well, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time for some more Battlefield.
You can't flank that hill at all. I remember that now. I remember what you're talking about.
I mean, what do they think would happen if you put a rapid-fire shotgun on a tank that's like got really long range? Like, I don't understand the thought process.
My life.
Battle.
Because Flame, they have to make it realistic, obviously.
And they definitely had like super fast full-auto shotgun tanks back in the day. What are you talking about?
It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What was I thinking of? Yeah, Drew, were you in that game the other day? We got camped like right at the beginning for like 9. What? Fuse that.
What is this?
Yes.
What is this?
Yes. Flame, it finally happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the rarest thing to happen. Fuse getting slapped back on the scoreboard.
Mostly it's the picture.
Oh my life. Oh, it's the best. So epic. Such a boss. That's so brutal. Raw brutality. I gotta concentrate on the game now. Fucking hell.
After that.
Flame, how long has that been my picture?
Like,
It's like
long
the
time.
fucking beta or something.
Never got on the
That's
scoreboard.
awesome.
Hilarity. Absolutely amazing.